Hello dear ronins, welcome to Running Hood. Today it will be a big episode about how to entirely repair your koiguchi. First I have to say that it's a big piece of work and it takes so much time, so you need to be patient and to have a real goal to realize this manufacturing. So this is kind of the same process that the normal way to repair the low part of the koiguchi or the fast way to repair the low part of the koiguchi. But the difference is there is 4 sides, not just one, the shorter one, the low part, but the 2 sides, the upper part and the low part. And that's take so much more time and more wood. And of course, a close look on every detail and so much patience. So first we start with the low part and we will take the print of the low part, and after making it like we already seen in the 2 previous episodes, the normal way to repair the koiguchi, the fast way to repair the koiguchi, both for the low part, we will just take the wood part. But here I'm starting by the upper part. It's the most difficult one from my experience, because it's curved, like curved like 90 degrees something, and we will have to fold it like a hat, and it's difficult because if you are not really patient, you can crack the wood, so you will have to repeat the process again and you will lose your wood for nothing. So this upper part is difficult. So there I'm trying with the cutted part of the wood. I'm making a correction to make it fit like perfectly, but it's not so easy. I repeat, for me it was the most difficult part. The upper part is really difficult. So I think now we are good for the fitting. Now the problem will be to make it stick to the wood by the curve and glue process. So for the glue is not so difficult, of course. So it's wood glue, like in the 2 previous episodes about koiguchi. But now, so I'm using a tissue for putting the glue everywhere. Now the most difficult part of this upper part, that is technically the low part when you draw out the sword, but we will say it's the upper part because it's the larger one. And when you press, if you didn't prepare your piece of wood, you can have difficulties because it can crack. So here I think it looks good. It didn't crack, so I prepared it with warm touch of fingers to make it curve and not crack. My first try was not successful. That's why I insist on this curved part. It's kind of really difficult. Of course, then you press for like 20-30 minutes. It depends on your level of patience, but less of 15 minutes, I think it won't be good work. So you will have problem when you will draw back the sword, and your piece of wood will move inside, and you will have to repeat the process with the glue and the press. So pressure is really important. I use my files for making the pressure because it's with metal, and then I put in, if it's possible, the sword. And now I will use a different type of file, a larger one, because this time the larger one is adapted for this kind of upper part of koiguchi. So you have 2 sides on this piece of wood, and the two sides make an angle of almost 90 degrees. It's more like I think 120 degrees to 90 degrees. We'll say it's a 120. The problem will be that you have to get a good eye on the trajectory of the plan aspect of your first side. We'll say on the left side of this curve piece. So you have to respect that plan side and to press the same number of passes on the two sides, the left one and the right one of the curve. Right now, because I'm filming, I'm trying to respect the camera angle. I'm not always enough precise because I really need to have the trajectory of the sorry curve of the saya in front of my eyes to perfectly be parallel when I use the file to take off the wood. So this is really important if you want to be effective, efficient, and not lose so much time or destroy your saya or destroy your curved piece of wood that is taking really much more time than the low part. I think it's 4, 5, even maybe 6 much more time. So here you can have a closer look on how respect the trajectory, be parallel, and not having an opposition of the angle when you are pressing your file. So if you don't respect that trajectory like parallel, you will have a problem inside your saya, and you will maybe destroy it, or it won't be tightened the good way. So now I think we are good, because I can shake the saya and the tsuka is not getting out, and I can press with one finger or with the entire hand. So this is good. It looks too good. It's just a little bit too tightened, but with time you lose really fast when you are practicing your finishing aspect. So if you are not keeping a little bit too much tightened, all your work will be like not anymore useful after a week of practice if you use the shinken for just yaido or for battodo. So now we are getting to another part of the koiguchi. If I remember correctly, now we will be on the first side, and this is difficult, but I would say a little bit less difficult than the curved one. But it takes so much time because you will have so much wood to take off. So it's a bit more annoying than the first step and the second step, the upper part and the low part. Now I'm preparing the low part, the easier one, and putting some glue, because I think it's better to do the upper part and the low part together to be good on the fitting on the height of the blade, and then the two sides for the width. That's how I proceed. Maybe a craft master or a battodo master would have many things for help me to improve my way, but for the moment I think it's a serious way. So this is the inside. You have already seen that step, so I won't talk so much about the low part because it's the regular part that everyone know, and I made many already two tutorials about how to repair it like correctly and fast. So I'm taking off the wood nicely and gently, trying to respect this parallel trajectory when I'm pressing with the file, always checking step by step every 5, 10, 20 or 30 passes. It depends on your experience, but like proceed step by step. I think every 5, 10 passes is the best way, because if you just know exactly where you have to stop and to have your tighten result, just a bit too much, like we said before, to keep longer your crafting operational for your practice. I think we are good. Now the third step, we go on the side. I always have to check with my drawings that everything is okay to stay connected to the finality of this process is improving practice. By craft, you're improving practice always. From the swordsmith to the practice of the practitioner and the little crafting of the practitioner, it's always about improving your cuts and your self-improvement, in my way of thinking, of course. So pressing, it's a big piece of wood, so it asks like this instrument to keep better pressure, because if you have a superficial pressure just on the border of the koiguchi and not enough inside, you will have a bad result. And I had problems because the big piece of wood from the lodge of the abaki was moving. So always keep the 15-30 minutes of pressure, especially for this larger pot with different instrument, for having a deep pressure for 15-30 minutes if you want to be successful. The sides are really a bit annoying because so much wood and big piece of wood, so asking like more strength, more attention and more time. It's funny because we will just at the end have like a third of a millimeter or maybe a quarter of a millimeter of thickness for the sides, but it will definitely change the practice. So we are getting closer, of course respecting the trajectory, the parallel trajectory when you press your file, because it will change the stability of connection between abaki and koiguchi when you will practice, and it will avoid you to scratch the natural part of wood of the saya, and you shouldn't touch this part of wood. So this is the inside. So we have 3 sides now. The third one, upper part, lower part, and the first side is getting closer to the end of the process. And now the fourth part, the second side. It asks so much patience. At was I'm at my maximum level of patience because like maybe I'm not crazy about crafting and using tools and all that stuff. I'm more just a practitioner. So when it's really necessary for improvement of the martial arts material, I do it. I do it the best I can. So now I'm using 2 file and this pressuring machine. I forgot the word in English, but I'm sure you will find it. It's a common thing for tools, for crafting, and it's really important to use it to have a deep pressure, like I said before, for the other side. So keeping pressure for 15-30 minutes, the same for this second big part of wood of the sides, the other side, is really important, especially if you want to be able to put your abaki inside for finishing the natural process for drying the glue. And take off. It's getting nice. It's getting clean. It's getting clean as a Tozando koiguchi. From my picture, entire picture of the thing and the different type of saya and koiguchi I've experienced before. There are many shinken with super nice koiguchi finishing. Here it looks like nice, from my opinion, but Tozando koiguchi are the like most cleaner that I know. It's getting closer to the end of this long crafting. I try to respect the parallel trajectory to not creating movement inside. It has to be well pressed. The abaki has to be well compressed by the koiguchi to fit really well, the best it is possible. Not taking out too much wood, because all of this would be for nothing. And having the same pressure of the file on the entire part of this second side piece of wood, not creating irregularities on your pressuring process. So it has to be parallel, yes, but it has to be uniform on your pressure. Repeating, checking, put it out the wood powder, being entirely focused. All of this make the practice. The practice is not just when you practice, the practice is not when you don't practice, when you have a sleep, when you have a nap, when you just go in nature, for example, and of course when you're making crafting, because you continue to practice on your entire cycle of your conscience, of your budo and your self-improvement. Every details makes the difference on the performance. Everything that you check. So I think we are getting closer from the end. Yeah, I think it's good. Okay, it's keeping well. The koiguchi is keeping well. The tsuka and the abaki. It's well, just pressuring with one finger, one thumb. It's getting out nicely. I can pressure it. It's just a little bit too tight, but I think like it should be, because with the fast repairing, I just had a week, just the week of the cutting test, and then the tsuka was getting out when I reversed the saya. So fast repairing or just enough tighten won't be enough for a month, for example. So here I'm trying to see if I'm pressuring from side to side and on the width and on the height, the evolving from the beginning, and I think we are good. It's necessary that there is a little bit opening, but not too much. So I tried my best to make the entire process. I won't do it every day because it takes so much time and patience and focus, keeping focus for hours. I didn't know, but I think it was kind of 4 or 5 hours for making all of this, and it's a bit too long for making it every month for different shinken. I prefer the fast low part, but for this shinken I think it was relevant to try it for make it work the best I can. So that's it. I'm just cleaning it with the hoover for taking off all the wood powder that I can. And you can see the results of the koiguchi. It's really nice, it's really clean, it's really different from all the koiguchi repairing that I did before. It asks more, but it gives more. So it's always a question about how much you invest of your focus, patience, and crafting time, and how much you will have in results in your practice. I made a little bit some mistake because this time I was practicing the crafting with the rattle correction and the entire koiguchi repairing, and it was not a good idea. I was thinking that separating entirely these two processes is better. So next time I will really separate the two processes, because it was not good for focusness. Now the checking at the dojo for practice, what is better now, it's really different. The sword doesn't move so much during ninjutsu. It asks more precision from my touch because it's more tightened inside. It's not moving, not shaking. It asks to be really more precise, but it's really appreciable to not feeling that the tsuka will go out and the sword is more compressed in the saya. So I feel really good with this amazing practical from Bushiden, and I think now the sword, it has his maximum, and definitely I feel really better. Of course, I keep the note 8 on 10 because even with that, I don't have the same feeling when I'm drawing out the sword with Nukiuchi or with Noto than the Shito from Anwe. So I was expecting that it's a great improvement, but it can't change correct tailored saya. But I think with this process, with the entire process of repairing rattle and entirely repairing koiguchi, for beginner in battodo, you have something that is really, really awesome for this size of practitioner and for serious practice of battodo, in my opinion. So it's really smooth. I feel like all my nukiuchi of Suihei and Gyaku Kesa are like really better. I would say 20% better, 15-20% better, but from improvement to improvement, the final note, the final perception of our practice is really different. And you can see the rattle. We don't hear it now, even after practicing and all the repairing and all the checking. Yes, it's smooth, it's fluid. It's make it really the best version of the sword I can do, and it's make me become a best version of practitioner that I can be. And that's why crafting sacrifice is important for improvement. Thank you for having watched this episode. I hope you liked it. See you soon for next episode in Running Hood.